We are gonna start on the floor, and we are gonna start with that diaphragmatic breath. So bring your middle fingers to the front of your rib cage, your thumbs to the back, and take that nice 360 breath, trying to get that diaphragm to pull air into the deepest part of your lungs. We're taking this breath out of fight or flight mode, out of those stressors, and filling the ribs and belly. And then as you exhale, just let everything go here. Check in with your brain, make sure you're in a nice positive space. And then on your next exhale, I want you to start to think about your pelvic floor. So think of those 3 blueberries, front, middle, and back. As you breathe out, gently lift them up through the center of your body. As you breathe in, put them back down and take a release. Exhale, lift. Inhale, release. And then just remind yourself that that contraction is just as important as that release work. So if you find yourself holding on to those pelvic floor muscles as we go through this workout, just take a moment every once in a while to breathe in and let go. Now we're gonna do today what's called a deep core hold. I want you to think of your core in 3 sections. We've got level 1, hip bone to hip bone. Level 2 is gonna be through the belly button. Level 3 is gonna be bottom of the rib cage. As you breathe out and lift your pelvic floor, we're gonna hold on to that activation. This is something I never let you do. You're gonna take a sippy breath up top to kind of take you into that stress breath. Keep holding on to that pelvic floor lift. And as you exhale, lift a little higher, go through this level 1. So think hip bone to hip bone, turning on, pulling back to your midline as tightly as you can. Hold on to that. Take a sippy breath up top. Exhale, go a little deeper in your pelvic floor. Pelvic floor lifts. You wrap lower abdominals into that level 2 through the belly button. So everything is turned on here from the pubic bone to the belly button. Sippy breath up top so you don't lose that activation. Exhale, go deepest yet. Pelvic floor, hip bone to hip bone, through the belly button, through the bottom of the rib cage. This should feel like a crunch by now. Sippy breath up top. Exhale, deepest yet. Deeper than that last one. Level 1, 2, 3, hang on to it. Inhale, let it go. Give your butt a little wiggle. And then just put your hands on your knees and give yourself a little cat-cow here. When we go into those really deep core holds, we also turn on those multifidus muscles. Those are those spinal stabilizers that are also turning on to help support that core work. Great. We are gonna push ourselves up into down dog and just pedal through the feet here, right to left. Just working out the backs of the legs, getting into the hamstrings a little bit. Give me 8 more counts. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walk halfway up your mat. Drop your knees, drop your tailbone, roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. Head's the last thing up, and we're gonna start to roll those shoulders back. Just putting some mobility into that upper body. Bring them forward for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Sweep those arms up overhead. Nice big breath in, breath out. Bend those knees. Woo! Inhale up, exhale down. 2 more times like that. Breath in and out. We're gonna head into those squats next. Find those hips, take them behind you. So maybe these first 2 just look like a little stretch into the hamstrings. Yeah. Then we're gonna start to travel down. Shifting those hips behind you, making sure that you feel this in your glutes. You're gonna take these at your own pace. Fast, slow, you don't have to keep up with me. Find your breath. And the reason we did those deep core holds at the beginning of our workout today is because as we go through our workout and specifically into this next section, when we head into push-ups, sometimes we put ourselves into a position where we can't let that core go for safety. So we have to know when to go into that hold, but we also have to keep breathing. Woo! Squats for days here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up into a balance. Inhale, reset that core. Exhale, lift up, find that deep wrap. You're just recentering yourself here, feeling that extra blood flow. That heart is on and working. Take it over to the other side. Drive that leg down, even out your hips. Take a breath in to relax your core. Exhale. Okay, we're gonna get ourselves back down on the floor, and this is your test run for your push-ups. So as you bring yourself down, these push-ups can be in plank or on your knees, or if you're still working on that core integration, honestly, do these with terrible form and keep your butt in the air. But wherever you are, think of that core hold that we went into just a little bit ago. You're gonna take an inhale, exhale, go nice and deep with that zip up the front of the body, and then press yourself in and out. Now because we're in this incline, this is that place where it's potentially gonna pressurize out and down on your core muscles. So we wanna keep that zip up the front of the body, which is gonna require you to take that sippy breath up top, that stress breath that I'm always telling you not to take. Take 2 more here. And then if I were to tell you that you were gonna do these for the next 10 minutes, what muscle groups are gonna get fatigued first? The answer I want you to give me is your chest, your scapula, feeling this where it should be felt. We're gonna come up with an exercise, grab your weights, and we're gonna turn on all those muscles that you should have just been feeling just in case you weren't. And then we're gonna go back and do those push-ups again. Hold these here, hip level. We're gonna start with that breath. So elbows come in nice and tight to the sides of the ribs. And then what you're gonna do is squeeze your shoulder blades together. Use the coordination of that breath. And think about these chest muscles right here, your pecs. And you wanna keep those shoulders engaged, drawing together. 2 more here. 2. Last one. We're gonna drop those arms down, low V, up into that high point, same muscle group. Inhale, exhale. Yeah, good. I've got 2s, but if you've got heavier weights, feel free to grab those here. The main thing though is really to focus on those shoulder blades. Draw them together, draw them down your back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Second round of those push-ups. See if they feel any different. And throw those weights down. Bring yourself back down. Go back into the position that you're working from. So either here, on the knees, or in that full. Coordinate your breath. See if you can find your pecs and your chest muscles a little easier here. So that core is turned on. Everything's zipped up from the pubic bone to the bottom of the rib cage. You're coordinating your breath. You're breathing in and out. Few more here. Let's go, 8 counts. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Sit yourself up. Sit back on your heels. Just take a quick arm stretch. Nice. Arms and booty today. Take that other side. You can start to work your way up to standing. And weights are gonna be up to you at this point. You can grab them. I'm going to for this next part. We're gonna head into our first interval. And we're just gonna start with some marches. I'm gonna take a bicep curl with these marches. If you don't have weights and you wanna pull down from the top instead to keep that heart rate up. Yeah, good. Find your breath. Inhale, exhale. Take these at your own pace. 4, 3, 2. So we're gonna put some fire under our feet, and I want you to just run in place here. So I want you to pump those arms, and then depending on where you are with your pelvic floor and your stage of pregnancy or postpartum, you can take these a little bigger, as long as there's no pain, pressure, or leaking. Run it out for 4, 3, go back to those marches. We've got pull, pull. Get those knees up nice and high. Find your breath. 8 more counts. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Back into those fire feet. Not a technical fitness term, fire feet. Another Joni term. 8 counts here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm gonna put these down, and we're gonna take our first recovery up. So find the release in the pelvic floor. I like to bring a hand to the heart, a hand to the belly, and just keep a nice sway or circle in your hips. Deepen that breath. See how long it takes you to get out of that upper chest breath, down into your ribs and belly again. A few more counts here to recover. Turning on that parasympathetic nervous system. So important to come back to this place of rest and recovery after kind of amping ourselves up. Okay, I'm gonna grab those weights again. Again, I've got twos. If you've got something heavier, you're welcome to use those. I've got a parallel position underneath me, and I'm gonna go diagonal here. Take your butt behind you so you feel your glutes holding up your lower body. And we're just gonna alternate that lunge in and out of parallel here. So I'm thinking of my feet as being on train tracks. And if this starts to get into your lower back, one, I want you to try to solve that by being more conscious of your breath. Does that inhale into the ribs and belly, exhale, zip up the front, get you out of that back pain? If that doesn't do it, check in with your glutes. See if your butt is firing and holding up your lower body, or is it all coming from a rounded position? Slow these down if you need to, especially if you have a heavier weight. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm gonna put these down, and my next recovery is gonna be down on all fours. Find those core muscles. Same thing that we did standing. I want you to just take a little sway in your hips. If your wrists are not happy in this all four position, come down to your forearms to take the recovery here instead. Inhale, ribs and belly. Exhale, try to release and relax your pelvic floor. Maybe give your head a little sway. You can take some gentle circles in the pelvis, both directions. You're gonna give yourself one more exhale, and then use that core breath, those glutes, to get you back up again. Nice job. Okay, with or without that weight? No, why not, right? We're gonna take a deep step back, so parallel lunge. The leg that's behind me, the opposite arm is gonna come forward as I come into a kick. And I'm just holding this other arm in a bicep curl. You can bend that knee. You don't have to be a rocket here. And I want you to find your weight driving in and out of that front leg. So the leg that's not moving, is doing a ton to stabilize here. 2 more, 2. Last one. Switch yourself over to the other side. Zip up that core to give that spinal and pelvic some stability. Spinal and pelvis some stability. Talking, thinking, tripping over my words. That's how you know you're working hard. Finding that standing leg, finding that standing glute. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're gonna end this with a round of squats here. Just to bring that weight back into a bilateral movement. Find your inhale, find your exhale. Heart rate is up. Give me 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm gonna put these down. My next recovery is gonna be all the way on the ground. Use those core muscles. Wrap either on your side or come to your back if you're comfortable there. And the reason we're on our backs after this one is because we really got our heart rates up with those kicks and those squats. And we don't have much time to recover before we head into that next interval. This is the fastest and most efficient way to get your parasympathetic nervous system turned back on. You have a super stressful day. You have the chance to lay down. It'll help you reset that brain, reset your body. All right, last exhale here. Use your core muscles to roll over. Use your glutes and your core to get yourself up to standing. Woo, how you doing? We okay? All right, we're gonna take either stars with these tap outs, or you're gonna go into full jacks, depending on, again, your pelvic floor. We're always listening to what our bodies are telling us. Fitness shouldn't be about muscling through something when it hurts. Pain is your body's way of saying that there's something else going on, that there's an overactive muscle somewhere and an underactive muscle somewhere else. So you wanna take the time to find those imbalances and correct them. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold in the center here. Find your breath. Bend those knees. Yeah, that's it. Put some oomph into that punch. Feel those elbows come back. Feel like you're punching from your core, not your arms. That core is your powerhouse. 4 counts. 4, 3, 2, 1. Quick recovery. You're just gonna bend down. Bring your elbows to your knees and give yourself a little sway here. Now, if you're pregnant, you're nearing the end of your pregnancy and you wanna come down into that deep squat, feel that baby drop. You're welcome to hang out in that low position as well. But just try to relax your pelvic floor. If it feels better to come up a little higher, if you're getting dizzy from that extra blood flow into your head, lift it up a little bit, and then go into a gentle cat and cow. Last little bit, we're gonna come down to the ground into some tricep dips. Fingertips are gonna face towards you. Unless flexion in your wrist doesn't feel good, then you're gonna pop up onto your fists instead. Put your weight into your heels. You're gonna bend and extend your elbows. Make sure this isn't a hip thrust. That's not gonna work your triceps. So bend, extend, bend, extend. Keep those chest muscles open. Take these as slow as you need to. Think again of your scapula here. You can really feel those shoulder blades drawing together with your arms behind you like this. How does your core support this movement as well? Almost there. We're gonna take 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sit back. Take the stretch that you need for your arms. Whew. Breathe deeply. Try to get back into that diaphragmatic breath. A few more seconds to stretch out those arms. And then we're gonna come into an all fours position for our glute and hip series today. So what we're gonna do is take one forearm and place it down on the ground. Your opposite arm is gonna support you propped up here. Again, if flexion doesn't feel good, come up onto your fists. This leg, same as the propped up arm, is gonna lift and lower. So you're gonna point that toe and lift it all the way up, all the way down. So your hips are kind of open. In a moment, we're gonna go into a closed position with both hip bones facing the ground. But for this one, that top hip is reaching up towards the ceiling. Now turn on those lower abdominals. Those lower abdominals are gonna do a lot of work here to help that leg, that knee that's on the ground, to help support the pelvis. 4, 3, 2, come halfway. Flex your foot, pull that elbow up towards your shoulder, and then kick it out behind you. So that's the next move. Little bend and extend. Now check in with that forearm that's on the ground and that shoulder. Make sure that that shoulder is drawing away from your ears, because by now you might feel some of that strength creeping up into your upper body. We want to make sure that we're supporting that with our breath and our core as well. 2 more here. Now we're going to go into that closed position. So rotate your hips down so they're both facing the floor. Bend your knee. Forearms are just here together in like a little prayer pose. And if you've got a pie on your foot, you're going to smash that pie up into the ceiling. As you do this, Think of that level 1 hip bone to hip bone activation that we did at the very beginning of class. Can you turn on the lowest part of the abdominal wall with a little bit of tension there? 3, 2, and 1. You're gonna widen those knees, sit back into child's pose, relax your pelvic floor. Feel the ribs and belly with that breath. And then we are going to take this over to the other side. Opposite forearm's gonna come down to the ground. Prop your hand up, and then that leg and that hip is gonna open all the way up, all the way down. Lift and lower here. So set yourself up for success here, right out of the starting gate. Find that shoulder blade to hip activation for that forearm that's on the ground. So you're not crunching that shoulder up to your ear. Those lower abdominals are firing. Going into that deep core hold that we talked about again. Ooh. Find your breath. 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, you're gonna stop in the middle, flex your foot. You're gonna pull it in, press it out. In and out. You're keeping that knee nice and high. Think of pulling that knee into your shoulder. Reactivate through your shoulder blades. If you could think of locking your armpits down towards your hips, use that as an image. 8, 7, 4. I just went from 7 to 4. You can tell where my mind is. My mind is saying, get out of this exercise. Let's go 4 now. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Rotate so those hips are closed. Forearms are on the ground in that prayer position. Platter or pie on your heel. That's also telling of where my brain is. Pie on my foot. Press it up to the ceiling. Find those lower abdominals. Hugging hip bone to hip bone. Activating those shoulder blades down my back. I'm thinking long neck here. 8 counts. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Widen those knees. Sit back into child's pose. Fill your ribs and belly with that breath. Take 1 or 2 more breaths here. On your next exhale, get yourself up to all 4s and just go through a gentle cat and cow for your spine here. That cat position here with the arch, that C curve in your back. It's gonna feel really good after that series. And then take your tailbone around in a circle in one direction, and then go the other way. We're gonna come down to a seat and do a little inner thigh pelvic floor release. Bring the soles of your feet together. Draw your sits bones down. Ooh, wiping off the sweat. Head and energy goes up to then pull yourself forward. Apply a little bit of pressure down into your inner thighs. Just to feel that stretch through your inner thighs, pelvic floor. Imagine that it's lengthening here, releasing. When you're ready, ease yourself out of that. Head into a piriformis stretch. You're gonna cross your ankle over your knee. Flexion in that foot, chest is open. Pull that heel back towards your butt. Yeah, and if it feels good to give yourself a little rock or a sway here, that'll help deepen it. The other thing that'll deepen it is a flexion in that front foot, that heel that's on the ground. Breathe into this whole area right here. And then switching over to the other side. Open it up, feel that energy, that alignment. Pull your heel back to your glute. Sway if that feels good. Flex that front foot if that feels good. And breathe. I'm gonna take one leg out to the side here. Again, I'm gonna find both of those sits bones down with equal weight in the ground. Lifting up so I feel that length on both sides of the rib cage before I head into that side body stretch. I'm trying to connect this middle finger overhead to that sits bone that's on that same side on the ground. Lengthen, come over to the other side, this leg out, this leg in. Lift up with both arms, feel that length or pulling up out of your hips before we go into that side stretch. Middle finger to sits bone activation or connection. Lengthen to come up. Great, and I'm gonna take both legs out, and then this is just gonna depend on your flexibility, bringing yourself forward, trying to keep your knees up towards the ceiling, not rolling in. And sitting up just tall here might be enough of a stretch, but if you have that flexibility to come down into it, this is a nice release for your pelvic floor. Especially if you tend to hold some extra tension, stress in your pelvic floor muscles. It's a nice place to just feel everything opening up. Walk yourself back, take any comfortable fold of those legs underneath you. Realign your spine, take a nice big inhale, up, exhale down, and then one more. Gather that energy, pull it into your palms, down to your forehead, down to your heart. Final exhale. Awesome job.